Welcome to part 3 of building Monogram's 57 Street Vette as my contribution into the naked model group build hosted by Sodak Model Cars. In part 2, the dashboard got cut out to be switched to match the box art. Then the engine got assembled using nothing more than glue and a little bit of bare metal foil. So let's move on and tackle the chassis and the interior. We are getting ready for step 2, the frame. We have these parts, and this is what I'm going to do. We simply cut that off. We got that piece and a couple little doodads here, and for the sway bar I think I'm going to use the red one just to put a little splash of color in there. So let's just go on and start gluing stuff together. I don't know if it's imperative to go through every step of how to build this model. And then we have a radiator and some muffleators and some rear springs that go in, you know, kind of interesting like. Have a rear axle and drive shaft and some shockulators for step 7. So here's what we've done. We have assembled the chassis, and using the plastic, I decided to put the red sway bar on, you know, because that's kind of hot rod like, and I kind of put the red muffleators on, you know, because those are cherry bomb like. And just like the engine, I applied bare metal foil to the molded in exhaust. And as you can see, I didn't really wrap it all the way around because, you know, you don't really see it. It was nice that the rear axle has a nice chrome finned cover. That's pretty cool. And so, oh, and one other thing I did is I sanded the radiator shroud to give it a little bit different sheen than the radiator. So then we're going to take our engine and boop, it goes into the chassis. So that completes the engine and chassis. It's going to look pretty neat in there. I think we're going to have some kind of nice enough contrast. So let's move on to the next thing. So we're going to move on towards the interior. And in part 1, you saw that we put this little black strip from the black interior in. And since then, I have installed it and put the foil on the edges, which I thought would look pretty good. We had reached out to Mr. Sodak, and he says flocking is permitted. But how do you go about putting flocking on this? We have to think about that for a minute. And we might not even flock. We might do something else, because on the box art, it shows black down in here. So we're thinking on that. The door panels are just simply red. And looking at factory stock door panels, there's a little bit, you know, some of them, they're white here. Some of them, they're silver here. Depends. We're kind of just going to pick one, and it's probably going to be, we're going to put some foil around this and touch up the little handles here. And that's what we plan to do there. The dashboard, we're using the one out of the red kit, obviously, and it needs some work to highlight all these little doodads. And we have the Maltol pen and foil and maybe some Sharpie and or panel line wash. We will see. And then the top of the dash, you've already seen, we cut out of that. That will be all inserted. I've seen some cars that have a red dash top. Most of them it's actually black, and the only red part is along this line. The kit shows the one on the box art shows it being all red. That's what we're going with. Get out over here. The steering wheel is a big old round blob of chrome. I don't know if you can see, but this one is actually nipped out of the red kit because it should be red plastic underneath the chrome. So what we plan to do is sand all of the chrome, or sand, remove, polish, likely sand, to make the rim red. And that also gets rid of the bad mold line. And we're also going to sand on the steering column because this is basically the column. It just has a hole that it sticks in somewhere on this side, I assume, like that, with glue, and probably need to work on that. So I don't know, I might even drill these holes out. We'll see. Make that look a little bit better. So let's start working on this and see what we come up with. So since Sodak said we could do flocking, here I have a little baggie of it. What we're going to try to apply it with is Model Spray Glue. This is available at Hobby Lobby. And you just don't want to hose this right on that. So what we did is we have some in this little thing that we've, this little container that is glue. We have a brush. And we're going to, do this and then use some of this. And I have this giant shaker screen thing. It's not really a colander. What are these things? Strainers? Yeah, that's what you dump your flocking in this and shake. The paper plate will capture it so we can then collect it and put it back in the bag, the stuff that we didn't use. And so let's begin. So 72 coats of flocking later, we managed to get it mostly black and fuzzy. Added some Molotov on the console and these little step pads here. And it's doing pretty good. Gonna try to see if I can still get a little bit out of these gaps. A little bit more touch up here and there. That's in the ballpark of where it needs to be. We also applied some foil to the lower trim and that little piece of trim and that little piece of trim and some Molotov on the window crankeroonies. And also finished up the dash. We've this is all Molotov pin chrome with some panel line accent on top of it. As we said, we were going to scrape the chrome from the steering wheel. And that's what it is. Same on the steering column. So I think that came out pretty good looking. Added the rear view mirror and a little bit of panel line wash on the holes. So this stuff is getting pretty close to installing. This feels like a good stopping point to recharge and get ready to tackle a 600-pound gorilla, also known as the vintage decals. Will they play nice? Probably not. But in order to find out, you'll have to like, comment, subscribe, you know what to do, because I have all kinds of model car stories to tell. Thanks for watching.